Mars also rules war, so we could see some significant military movements from this week onward. As we speak, there are some big movements with Russia.
Hello everyone, welcome to Astro Reader PH and thanks for dropping by for some astrology. Oh boy, what a week we've had. Suddenly the world is on the brink of war. For this reason, I've focused this week's reading more on the astrology in the bigger scale than in our individual lives. If you've been following my videos, you'll notice I've been talking about how the lockdowns, restrictions, and other effects of the pandemic are bound to lessen gradually over time.
So it's quite likely that they'll just keep ramping up the restrictions as we get closer to Christmas. But after Christmas, after this December, we could see a significant reduction, I think. Anyway, I believe it's this transit that's been causing the restrictions in our lives in the past year. So I try to have faith that after this final pass, we'll breathe at least a little bit of a sigh of relief.
And I've also mentioned that new challenges are coming, that the world will shift its focus to restoring the economy.
We're now seeing some lifting of restrictions around the world, and based on astrology, these should just continue in the long run. Particularly as we draw closer to April, we'll see even more freedom. Though there could be other problems that come up during that time. Finally, Mercury and Venus retrograde have done a number in our economy and personal finances for sure, especially combined with the Saturn Uranus restrictions last year. So now we face the enormous task of resuscitating the economy. This is a long process that we will have to go through for the next 2 years at least.
In short, the new challenges I've been referring to have to do with economic depression possibly brought about by war or other conflicts. I've been told that I had a tendency to be a little doomy in my forecasts, so I didn't emphasize the possibility of war and economic depression so much. People don't really like hearing about things like that. Even I don't like thinking about it. But it's certainly a possibility I've considered, as you could see in the intro. Unfortunately, it's no longer just a possibility, but reality. Now that the war is out in the open, it's time to break these events down astrologically, not so they could be feared, but so we could prepare. To do this, we gotta look into the nitty-gritty and face some hard questions. If you're not up for this kind of discussion, I understand, and I suggest you click another video. That said, I know it seems we live in such dark times, and it's hard to see the light in things. But my goal when it comes to prognosticating, for myself and others, is to leave fair warning about the future, just as the planets and stars hint to us day by day. While knowing ahead of time may never be enough preparation, especially when it comes to huge events like wars, I suppose it's probably better than not knowing why things happen at all. This week in particular may be a little more challenging than others, so hang on. We start off with the moon triggering the Mercury-Saturn conjunction in Aquarius around February 28 to March 1. This means that we're generally on the pessimistic side these days, but we'll have an especially darker mindset around the beginning of the week. I know I am. Or maybe receive some somber news or information. But while our thoughts could go darker, they are also quite rational, maybe ultra-rational. Aquarius energy can be logical to a fault. Aquarius can overthink things, which can lead to pessimism or even depression, especially when merged with Saturn energy. So this is the kind of mental energy we're experiencing this week. Dark, heavy, overthinking. But aside from that, it's also more analytical, cerebral, detached, and logical. Speaking of mental energy, mental tasks like business, transportation, logistics, errands, communications, and documents may also have challenges or delays. So we could see more stuff like traffic jams or long queues. But if you're patient and persevering, you could get past these hurdles and accomplish a lot. Saturn rewards those that endure till the end. We could get some attention now for something we said, did, or wrote in the past, good or bad. This is a karmic energy, so we get what we deserve. If you're something like an inventor, genius, scientist, or eccentric, or if you're some kind of data analyst or prognosticator like an actuary, weatherman, or even an astrologer, this is your time to shine. Both your hits and misses may come to light. So it's either I told you so, or I stand corrected. To this then, I must humbly submit now. Another powerhouse transit we're dealing with this week is Jupiter being combust, which is effective for the next 2 weeks, but will be emphasized by the new moon in Pisces on March 2 to 3. So what this energy will bring will probably be an overdrive of growth. Jupiter brings expansion and freedom, and a combustion makes a planet go overdrive or haywire. So with Jupiter going haywire, we could see massive, explosive events in the world. Jupiter is known as the Great Benefic, a bringer of abundance. But this time, Jupiter's effects may not be so positive. It's a case of having too much energy, and too much of a good thing usually isn't good. Anyway, Pisces is also related to substances, like oil. Currently, the price of oil has skyrocketed to around $100 per barrel, unheard of for quite a while. So for sure, Jupiter combust in Pisces is helping this price blow up now. Some other things that could blow up are disease, neglect, disorder, laziness, escapism, delusions, deceptions, or addictions. So watch out for the bad effects of such things like food poisoning and infections which may be caused by a lack of sanitation. On the positive side though, we could see an overdrive of creativity, spirituality, reflection, freedom, isolation, and rest. So watch out for the negative, but try to enjoy the positive. As I mentioned in the past, as shown in the intro, Mars in Capricorn can be a bit of a warmonger, especially being so empowered by Venus and Pluto while ruled by Saturn. And from March 3 to 5, this configuration reaches peak power, with Venus and Mars in its final degrees. So you could say that there'll be one final push from this Plutonian energy. This Capricorn energy seems to have been capitalized on by Russia recently, so it's likely they'll make a major move towards the end of the week. Now here's another one of my dreaded gut feels, and I really wish I'm wrong on this one. Combinations of Mars and Pluto are usually considered explosive, and combined with Jupiter's combustion, I believe there's some very unstable energy coming up. Currently, we're already seeing some bombings happen, but with this additional Jupiter combust energy, along with other things we'll get to in a moment, we may very well see these bombings escalate this week. As we know, Russia has some well-known explosives in its arsenal. I don't want to mention the N-word, but I gotta put it out there as a possibility. We may see some threats of that nature, and I hope cooler heads prevail and no one goes hot. Like I said, I hope I'm wrong. Some eagle-eyed astrologers have pointed out that the USA is going through their Pluto return now, so the USA could experience a major transformation right around these times. I believe this is linked to these tensions in Ukraine. Something I'd like to add to that is the USA is also about to go through Neptune opposing its Neptune, which somehow translates to a culmination of illusion, disorder, or negligence, or a major disillusionment. USA's Neptune is in Virgo, so an issue with the military could be brought to light in the coming days. Capricorn energy also reminds me of China, so I believe we should have our eyes on China as well. It's possible that China's conflict with Taiwan may be brought to the forefront as well. When Venus and Mars move towards Aquarius around March 6 onwards, I believe we'll see another country start to enter the limelight. And I believe this is just the start of the attention Japan will get. I believe Japan will be taking center stage in the years to come. We'll have to see how that turns out. And that's it. Thanks for watching the Astrology of the week of February 28 to March 1 for all signs. Please like and subscribe for more astrology. Thanks. Goodbye.